This one is somewhat, we'd like to call it really epoxy art. And this is the kind of thing that might come out of something like epoxy art. Now this is my name, and I actually did that with a piece of equipment like this. Now these are the two materials. This is the epoxy resin and this is the epoxy hardener. This is a 2-to-1 system, so you can see how the resin cartridge is bigger than the hardener cartridge. We attach a mixing tube, we squeeze this stuff out, it mixes as it comes down through here, and it cures. And this is actually for an industrial application. And this is another industrial application. This is actually a patch kit that we make. Again, it's a 2-part epoxy, and you can see how the tubes are different sizes to accommodate the mix ratio of the material. But customers would use this if they actually made a part and it had a little defect on it and they need to fix it. They can, again, put that little mix tube on the end here, squirt it out, and the epoxy can be used to patch some parts that they made. Well, you guys don't want to work with that stuff, but there is a way that you can do epoxies and still make epoxy art types of things. You do need epoxy resin. So I've mixed up some epoxy resin. The part A, the resin is red, and the part B is clear. Now this is a 1-to-1 system, so I'm actually going to take equal parts and mix them together and then try to make some art. So we'll see what happens. So this is my container that I'm going to use to mix in. And if I wanted to be really accurate and really, you know, if this was something I was actually going to use, I'd be weighing these out so that I know that I have a good 1-to-1 ratio. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and get it close because there's enough flexibility in this system that even if I'm close, it's still going to work just fine. So I'm going to take some of my red epoxy resin here. I'm going to scoop it into my mixing cup. Like that. And then you see me working on this paper and on placemats and things like that. I don't like to clean up the messes that I make, and believe me, I do make messes. Now, if I was to put this epoxy down on the paper, it's going to stick to the paper and I wouldn't be able to take it off and have a part like this. But if I put it on foil, you can actually peel the foil off the back and it works pretty well. So I'll do some work on the foil when I'm actually ready to do that. All right, I need the part B now. So again, I'm going to take about an equal amount of the resin and hardener. I think I want a little bit more of that. Okay. So there's about an equal ratio of the two resins, of the resin and the hardener, if you want to be accurate. So now I'm going to mix these together. Now, once you mix epoxy, the resin and the hardener together, they're going to start reacting. So you don't want to go real slow when you do something like this, but you don't have to go real fast. You want to make sure it's mixed well for one thing. And there's plenty of working time. That's the time it takes for the material to get to a point where you can't really play with it anymore. So I've mixed it up here, and it looks pretty good. It's not the bright red anymore that the resin was because I've diluted the color a little bit with my white hardener, but it's still a nice red color. All right. Now, we're going to put that mixed resin into a syringe so that we can actually do something with it. So I pull the plunger out, and this is sometimes where it gets messy, but I need to get the resin into the tube. So just kind of spooning it in. And this is the other reason I'm wearing gloves, because I know at some point I'm probably going to get some of this on my hands too. And I want to try to fill the tube, so I got to work the resin down. You can see it getting down in the tube there. Now these materials are industrial materials. You can't go to a store and you can't buy things like this. You can go to Home Depot. or probably Walmart and buy epoxy kits. And they might even be in a syringe or some type of dispenser already like that. But you can't use food coloring to pigment this stuff because food coloring is a water-based material and the epoxy systems are resin-based, and they really don't like each other when you mix them together like that. So you have to use certain pigments and certain materials. All right, let's see if we can't get that down in there. There we go. Had a bubble in it. All right, so once I get the epoxy resin into the tube, then I just carefully want to put the plunger back in, but you see it's already going to start coming out the other end, so you got to be careful. But then we could write or make or do anything you really want with it. If you squeeze it out, oops, there we go. Oops, a little bit of air. So there's almost John's name. The material is starting to run a little bit. I had actually put some additional fillers in here that would make it not run out, that would make it stand up so it wouldn't run out like this. But I guess I didn't put enough in. So next time I make this particular material, I'm gonna have to put a little bit extra of that anti-flow ingredient in here. But you can do things, you can make designs, you can write names, you can do whatever you want. You can make a little peace sign. And if you pull the plunger back, you can pull the resin back in. Yeah, I'm getting it all over my hand, so it was a good idea that I wore the gloves. So what are we going to do? I got a little bit left here. Let's just make... Actually, string it all together. So I've made a couple of designs. You can see how John's name is really kind of flowing out in contrast to this material that really stayed put when I dispensed it. So I'll need to work on this, but again, that's why we do experiments. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Now this material will set up in a couple hours, but I would let it cure overnight before I actually tried to peel these words off of my foil. And then I would have little pieces that I could hang up or show or gift to people, things like that, to demonstrate how the material works.